Good afternoon, viewers and followers. So today's topic is the significance of solitude for spiritual growth. To begin with this discussion, it is essential to mention that both the path of hermitage and spiritual growth are interwoven and interlinked with each other. Now, I must address to the seekers of truth and wisdom, be it ladies or gentlemen, that today we would embark upon a discourse concerning the profound symbiosis between hermitage and spiritual growth. The two interwoven forces that have, since time immemorial, guided souls towards enlightenment. This subject is not one of mere historical or philosophical interest, but an inquiry into human quest for transcendence. To retreat into hermitage is not an act of escapism, it is a sacred pilgrimage into the sanctuary of the self. The great sages, mystics, and ascetics of all traditions, they have understood that solitude is not loneliness, but a refinement of presence, a conscious withdrawal from the cacophony of worldly distractions to attune oneself to the symphony of the divine. Now consider the fact that the lives of great hermits, how it would have been. For example, Lord Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree, Saint Anthony in the Egyptian desert, and so on. These exemplars did not seek isolation as an end in itself, but rather they took this desolation as a crucible in which the raw ore of the consciousness could be smelted into spiritual gold, golden spirituality. In the silence of seclusion, these sages uncovered truths that would later illuminate the paths of millions of people. So, the urgent inquiry into the fact is, why is solitude so essential for spiritual growth? First and foremost, it cultivates or inculcates inner stillness. We would have all heard, "Be still and know that I am God," the verse in the Bible, and so on. In Gita also it has been proved that if we take action, God won't be able to show his power. So by free will we have to attain stillness in order to see the power and the action of God. We have to come to inaction. In the tempest of modern existence, we inundate ourselves by relentless tides of external stimuli or impetus. For example, the news, the social obligations, digital distractions that fragment our attention and dissipate our spiritual energies. Dissipate in the sense depletes our energy into external diversifications, into external inattentiveness. The hermetic life, whether pursued in total seclusion or in intermittent retreat, both ways you could do it, it reorients the soul towards introspection. So, The soul has, the human being who is practicing this would turn inwards intermittently, that is now and then, and allow the mind to become an untroubled lake of stillness that reflects divine wisdom with unclouded clarity. Of course, when you're still, your mind is quiet and still, it attains placidity, tranquility. There is 100% chance of clarity in thoughts. Secondly, hermitage serves as a sanctuary of self-examination also. In the earlier video, we had talked about self-witness, that is, witnessing the entire emotional colors, the array of emotional colors that cross our mind, our body, and our actions. And this witness is the practice of the soul. Now here it is re-mentioned as a sanctuary of self-examination, that is a position or a practice of being hermitage, being into hermitage. So without the external world's incessant validation or condemnation, we confront the unvarnished truth of our own being. We don't seek validation. We encounter ourselves. The masks we wear in society, it dissolves in such a condition. And in the stillness of solitude, we stand face to face, encounter with our own virtues and vices. This is not an easy undertaking. It requires courage to peer into the depths of the soul, to acknowledge its flaws, and to undertake the arduous labor of self-purification. So unless we look into these conditions of vices and virtues, we have to stare at it. We have to glare and stare both ways inwards. Self-purification, the action of self-purification won't begin. So furthermore, retreating into solitude fosters a direct communion with the divine. Now, whether through prayer, meditation, or contemplation, the soul in solitude is unencumbered, that is undisturbed, unperturbed by the material concerns that tether it or perturb it to transient realities, changing, passing by, all sorts of temporary kind of transience means temporary conditions of life that seems to be real, but next moment it turns into an unreal happening. In this state, one attains a heightened receptivity to divine wisdom. So the silence, the moment of hermitage and silence, leads to attainment of divine wisdom, experiencing insights that cannot be grasped through mere intellectual studies. The hermit becomes a vessel. So becoming a vessel of the divine is the foremost action that you have to do, and empty ourselves, for that matter, from all sorts of emotional attractions that externally diverts us. And this way, in the higher realms of consciousness, we are able to connect with the celestial music or the tune of the universe. However, let us not mistake the value of hermitage as an isolated endeavor. True spiritual growth, it does not culminate in the indefinite withdrawal from the world. Rather, it seeks to refine the individual so that they may return to the world transformed. So, Return of the Native, Thomas Hardy's, was true enough as the name nomenclature. And here we see that imbued with wisdom, love, and unshakable equanimity, an individual returns after the spiritual realization, returns into the world's existence. The hermit's enlightenment is not his alone to keep. Now, once the hermitage has helped an individual to enlighten, now this individual has more to give rather than to possess the same. It is a beacon that must illuminate the path of others. So we know now the saying that it's in giving that we receive. What do we give? We don't have materialistic things to give, but our virtues and our values and our realizations to be shared with this world. Thus, my esteemed audience, the relationship between hermitage and spiritual growth is one of profound alchemy. Solitude, alchemy is a function of light. It is a function, exchange, visionary, at all times and all moments, of that of light. Solitude refines, polishes, and elevates the soul, but its ultimate purpose is not detachment from its own, for its own sake, for its own purpose. It is to inculcate a self so deeply rooted in truth that upon returning to the world it remains unshaken amid the storm. This is the main purpose. And as we navigate our own spiritual journeys, each of us, let us heed the wisdom of the hermits, not necessarily by withdrawing into the wilderness, but by carving out moments of stillness in our lives, moments where we can retreat into the sanctum of the self, there to commune with the eternal potential of the universe. Now, with this, I complete this session today. See you next time.